What's up guys, aarava here, and welcome to the start of my F1 2019 career mode. I am so excited to kick this thing off. We're here for episode number 1. I'm going to dive into the entirety of the F2 story mode that precedes your F1 career in F1 2019 career mode. So if you're looking forward to it, if you like it by the end of it, be sure to smash that like button and get subscribed. Let's get into it then. Let's begin our journey to Formula 1.
In F1 2019, you'll be invited to start your career by selecting a Formula 2 team. Driving for this team, you'll experience some key moments of a Formula 2 season, a thrill-packed racing championship in its own right, and the springboard to Formula 1. At the end of this feeder series, your choice of driver academy and your performance in F2 will determine the terms of the contracts offered by the teams, as you embark upon your career in Formula 1 and begin to write your own chapter of motorsport history.
And writing my very own chapter of motorsport history is what I shall do. But we have to start somewhere, everyone does, and we're going to start here with the F2 feeder series story portion of the career mode here. We've got to pick which F2 team we want to be in. Now, this has no bearing on what F1 team we go into, because you choose your driver academy after this selection screen. So, which I like, versus locking you into some F2 teams based on their affiliation in real life, because if you watch F2 enough, you might kind of, grow to like one team or the other. So for me, it was a toss-up between Prima and ART, because they both have really good-looking cars, and I've always affiliated them as two good teams in F2. In the end, I went with ART, black and red, you can't go wrong, and also it was the car that took George Russell to the championship in F2 last year. So we've gone with ART. Now we need to choose the coveted driver academy that we want to select for F1. Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, Renault, McLaren, or none. So you can go rogue and go with no affiliation whatsoever, but right now in this video, I'm actually going to keep you guys guessing of what driver academy I'm going to pick, and maybe therefore my team, until the end of the video when we finish F2 and transition into Formula 1. So stick around for that, but let's go on and start our F2 journey properly. So here's the background for our very first F2 scenario event. In the third event of the 2018 Formula 2 Championship, a mechanical issue prevented aarava with a stark choice: put the team first and cede the position to their teammate Lucas Weber, or deny Weber to pursue their rivalry with Devon Butler.
ART's new driver really commanding the race here. Devon Butler still ruthlessly giving chase. These two have been really scrapping it out for the early wins in the championship. And something's wrong. Butler sees his chance. Some kind of mechanical failure. Picking up speed again. It's unclear what the issue was. Can they still finish this race?
Looks like an issue with the turbo. You've lost some speed at the top end, but you're very close to the finish. You can still compete and get some points here. Don't give up. Just do the best you can. We're all behind you.
So here we are at the wheel then of our ART F2 car here with the Spanish Grand Prix, the last 3 laps of the Grand Prix to be specific, and we've got no turbo now, and our teammate is coming up behind us there, and I suspect anytime soon our engineer or him is going to ask, can I let him through, basically, because I'm going to be so slow compared to him in reality.
Your teammate is approaching and wants to get past. Repeat, Lucas wants to pass you.
And so there you go, the question and team order has been passed. Now, do I choose to ignore it, or do I accept it? To be honest, I'm probably leaning to accepting it, because you can see there, I've just got no pace. No turbo just means you don't have any acceleration, and I find it hard to actually justify staying ahead.
And your teammate wants to pass you. I know you don't want to drop a position, but without your turbo, he's the best one to challenge for points further up the field. If you hold Lucas up, you could be denying the team points.
And my engineer's put it quite succinctly and quite nicely there. If I fight him too much, he's going to get off worse off position, and the entire team's going to suffer. So I'm going to let him by. It's an easy thing to do, actually, in a straight line as well.
That's great. Lucas can push on now.
And also, in fact, I would have found it pretty hard to even fight Weber that much into a corner.
Lucas wants me to pass on his thanks. I know it's frustrating, but you made the right call for the team. Now we're all with you. Just bring it home as best you can.
So with Weber passed, he's up into P5. He can now go on and chase after a podium potentially. It's our job now to bring the car home, and I want to try and get the max position P6 here after letting Weber by. So we're going to come under attack though from people like Markelov. Of course, everyone else is still in the same situation. They have a faster car. It's just the fact that I will be a lot more kind of arsey with my defending against them versus my teammate. And look at that, my teammate says the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. 2 laps to go. For me, it's the correct decision. I know if you've watched career modes in the past of me on my channel, I know what you're going to be saying. I have been pretty arsey and aggressive with my teammates in the past in career modes, but also at the same time, I do also realise when it's a situation like this, where you've got a mechanical issue, there is no point fighting your teammate. You're just going to hinder the entire team, because he might as well, go and get P4 or a podium, and that'll be a lot better for the team as a points haul to fight, the likes of, Prima, Russian Time, whatever you have it, any other team that's in the championship fight. And right now we're doing a stunning job at defending and making our car as wide as a bus there. De Vries tries to go down the inside, and we defend from him as well, and so he's ahead of Markelov now. So we're really, basically a bus at this point, painted in ART colours, but I'm going to do a job. We've got 1 1/3 lap left to go at the moment here, but you can just kind of see the car is so slow. I mean, F2 cars in general are going to look a lot slower in the gameplay versus F1 cars, but you can actually really tell there's no turbo on this car, or kind of broken turbo at least, because it's so slow in a straight line. I'm having to brake the toe very aggressively, but you can see there the new AI on F1 2019 try and follow the slipstream line and try and follow the toe. So as much as I'm trying to break it, they do follow it. And so we move on to the last lap of the Grand Prix, up the hill, really struggle town. That's probably the worst place really, because you're going uphill and the engine's having to pull so much harder without the turbo helping out in the acceleration there. We again defend very aggressively against the Vries and keep him wide there. And so through the last sector, even an F1 car, even with a working F1 car, it's difficult to overtake anyone here. And so I think we should be able to get this through. But Devin Butler, our other rival, does win the Grand Prix. So that's a bit of a shame. And in the end, Lucas Weber only gets P5. So I don't know, maybe in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have let him through if he didn't do such a good job at, climbing up any more positions. But in the end, it's still P5 and P6. It could have been maybe a lot worse if I did defend too much.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
Brilliant stuff from Russian Time today. That's another historic win. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
I think what won them the race was their ability to adapt. At every point, they delivered what was needed. They were calm and steady when they needed to be, but they were ruthless and aggressive when it was demanded of them. There wasn't anything out there that they weren't prepared to handle. Let's see if they can keep it up this season.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Russian Time, then, are on top today.
So there's the first glimpse of our main rival, Devin Butler, there on the top step of the podium. Driving for a Russian Time, he is there in those black and yellow overalls. And alongside him is Alex Albon and Lando Norris there, F2 drivers in 2018, of course, alongside him on the podium. But this is how the championship then stands here. It's actually quite close between Butler, myself, and Weber. And the constructors also very close between ART and Russian Time. So important to get those points, for the team's sake. And so kind of backs up my decision, in my opinion, about letting him through that race.
There you are. That was an exciting race. It definitely got people talking about you, which means I was able to secure a quick interview.
Okay, we're all set over here.
Just a minute. Remember, anything you say to the press can go very, very public. So be relaxed, but also be conscious of what you're saying and how it might come across to other people, okay? I think we're ready.
Great. So Emma keeps telling me you're the one to watch this season. If that's true, you'll be doing plenty of these. Just remember, be yourself. And the more you can give me, the better this will go. Right, stand here. Turn a little this way for me. Perfect. Ready? An exciting race today. Let's get your perspective. So you and Lucas are new to the team. How are you settling in?
So here we are then. Claire, new and improved for F1 2019, is back here with some PR questions here after that race. And so to her question, yes, I'm settling in well. Hopefully we just find the rhythm as we go on through this season then.
Okay, so how did you feel about being ordered to give up the position to Lucas?
I nearly went for the right-hand option just because it said it is what it is, but for the bottom answer, I think that's going to be better. He was obviously faster. He had an actual working turbo, so he was obviously always going to try and overtake me, and there's no point really putting up that much of a fight because I would have just ruined my own race, actually, probably in the end as well.
Great. Well, that's everything.
So that's the first of many interviews, I'm sure, in this career as we go along, but let's see what our teammates and Butler think after that race.
Hey, look, I know that wasn't easy letting me pass, but it was the right choice. It was good driving.
Yeah, that's how I describe it, mate. Just good, not great. 1 in 6. 1 in 6 makes the leap to F1. The other 5 are still watching their less talented teammates collect all their points. Shame, really. A lot of great drivers never get their chance because they do it all for the team.
Those teams got us here.
Yeah, but it's the drivers that take the risk. We should get the rewards. You ever won a race in F1? That's how winners think.
And remind me, how many F1 races have you won?
You watch this space. At the end of this championship, I'll be the one lifting the trophy, and I won't use my teammates to nick the podium.
Okay, I'm out. You believe what you want, Devon, but it's still early days.
He's either very clever or you're just a pushover. You really think if the situation was reversed, he'd do the same for you? You want to start looking out for yourself. No one else will.
And straight away, I actually hate this man. I mean, look at his mug face. I actually just want to slap him. He just annoys me off the bat. It's always better when you hate your rival that much more off track than you can do it on track as well. So, yeah, raring to go and raring to beat this guy. Let's move on to the second scenario. The 6th event was a low point for aarava when an aggressive move from Devon Butler resulted in contact and the destruction of their front wing. Butler's penalty saw him brought back within range of aarava, but only with a few laps remaining. ...
Look at them go! Devon Butler locked in wheel-to-wheel racing with his championship rival, desperate to shut them down and stop them getting past. And there's contact! Butler simply left them nowhere to go. There was just no way for them to have avoided that. And look, there's significant damage. Not sure if that was down to recklessness or sheer aggression, but I'm sure the stewards are going to have something to say very shortly.
Don't give up. You're still in this race.
Right, so here we go then. This second scenario really is a kind of testament to the saying I like to say quite a lot of times with F1 is never say never in F1, especially when it comes to the F1 game, because you just never know what could happen in a career mode situation. So here we are then. We've got 5 laps left of this Austrian Grand Prix. Just made a pit stop for that new front wing. We've got a fresh set of supers off, so we should be pretty good in the corners here. We've just got to see where Butler comes out when he makes his pit stop with a penalty, hopefully, and I think that's coming really, really soon with the team radio.
Okay, the stewards have awarded Devon a penalty. Push on. You can still catch him. You can still beat him. Devon is coming in for a stop.
Right, so he's going to pit at the end of this lap, so we've just got to push like an absolute stabbed rat now from P11 and see if we can try and beat him. But here he is then. Butler comes in. He's going to have a 5-second stop-go penalty, so you can see the mechanics wait there for 5 seconds before they work on his car, and then they're going to change the tyres, I assume, because they may as well strap on a set of super soft tyres. Of course, unlike F1, it's a bit of a slower pit stop in general, even without the penalty, but he comes out then, the Russian time car, down the pit lane. He's going to be a few positions ahead of us, because we're P11. I think he's going to come out around P8 or 9, maybe? So two positions ahead of us, but he's also going to be not too far off some other cars. So let's see. I got to hope, yeah, he comes out right behind 2 cars there. So I got to hope he actually fights with those 2 cars up ahead and that he slows himself down in traffic, and then I can try and catch him. We've got 1 car to overtake, of course, as well, but once we get past him, hopefully we've just got clean air then to try and chase after him, just focus on the actual race pace itself. So we set a green first sector on that first kind of proper flying lap here, but these need to be kind of purple, so I need to get the pace up here, but still kind of getting used to the F2 car at this stage, even after that first scenario. The F2 car is such an alien car compared to the F1 with a lack of downforce, of course, but we do get the hang of it eventually, because on the next lap we do set purple, and we are catching up to the pink WT F2 car here. So let's close up here. We've got DRS as well, of course, a new DRS zone here at Austria for this game as well. So can we try and make a dive to the inside as we climb up the hill to the end of sector 1? We're going to go for it there down the inside of Gunter, and it's a lock-up on the front right, but we do make it work. And we're up into the top 10. Seth Chimera is in P9, so I think Butler was already ahead of him potentially, or maybe he's overtaken Seth Camara. So Butler also getting a move on, of course, because he pit for super soft tyres as well. So, you know, he's also going to have a bit of pace, but he's now caught up behind another car here. So let's hope now he hits some issues and I can try and start to gain on him here. But we've also got to try and overtake the likes of Seth Camara. And on the next lap, this is Butler going for a move into turn 1. That's going to slow him down for sure, because it's a very difficult corner anyway to overtake, let alone on the outside, because you have to really slow down to let the car with on the inside with some room. And so they both slow up, and we're going to be right there in the background, just about there we are on the top left there, our ART car coming to shot. So we are gaining. It's just about these guys need to fight a little bit more, and they do so actually, because Butler has to go defensive to the inside there as DRS comes back for the driver behind, and he's got a little bit of loss of traction there. And so the number 2 Russian time loses some time, and he's back into the middle. That was no pun intended there, and he's going to come back though with a bit more slipstream. So it's going to be a real F2 kind of fight here, back and forth, lock up there for the car ahead, and we set another purple lap time onto the last lap of the Grand Prix then. And look how close this is then. Seth Camara, Butler, and I believe it's Roberto Meri ahead of Butler there. And so it's going to be so close between those three, and hopefully they can make it a 4-way fight here. But here goes Seth Camara on the outside. Butler gets pinned in and boxed in by those two cars, and the Brazilian is round the outside on the soft tyres. Maybe the super softs are going off a little bit for Butler, I'm not too sure, but now Meri and Seth Camara are side by side. Butler is slow now. He's ahead of us in P9, and so this is our chance, potentially 2 last sectors to go in this Grand Prix. Can I do it on the last lap of the Grand Prix to overtake him and beat our rival here in this second F2 scenario? We're closing up as much as we can. Hopefully Butler gets hit with a bit of dirty air to the next left-hander. We're going to try and just coast the car through. In F2, it's all about trying to build the momentum. They don't have enough downforce to really shove the car around the track. It's kind of just letting the car roll through and not losing too much speed on the entry and exit. And here we go. We've got a great exit, and this might just be it. To the inside of the right-hander, usually flat out nearly an F1, but a big lift off there. Side by side we go on the exit. We get him though down the inside of the final corner up into P9 of the Austrian Grand Prix, and we do beat Devin Butler in this second F2 scenario.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
Carlin have pulled off a sublime performance to secure the top step of the podium today. So, Davide, what did you make of that?
Well, it was a bit of a roller coaster, I think. There will be a lot of cheering for today's win. Frankly, I'm amazed that Devon Butler only received a penalty for that collision earlier. But watching the rival he knocked out actually come back and beat him, that made this whole race worthwhile for me.
As we can see, it's time for the podium, and I can see the Carlin team underneath our commentary box going crazy as their driver walks out. It was a great win, and it means a great deal to this team.
So Lando Norris and Carlin gets the win here at the Austrian Grand Prix, but so far so good. I think we've done, in my opinion, the right thing of letting Weber pass at Spain, and we've actually beaten Butler here in the second challenge. So far so good. We're ticking all the boxes. It's time to go towards some interviews now again after that Austrian GP.
Bad luck out there today. Let's talk about it. It seems to me that collision with Devon clearly cost you a lot of time. Are you disappointed with the final result?
So this is the first chance where we can really try and stick it to Butler in an interview question. So I'm going to go with the right-hand side. Outrageous that he only got a 5-second penalty, because he took off my entire front wing, to be fair. So 5 seconds is nothing.
Did you ever think you'd get the place back from Devon?
I think there's only one answer here for me, personally, at the very bottom there, that is, it was a huge gap. But to paraphrase the same phrase I've used, never say never in Formula 1. You just don't know what's going to happen in a race. And so, we pulled it off right at the last minute on the last lap of the GP.
I've seen that you and Lucas have been picking up a lot of points recently. What do you think of your championship chances?
And we're going to go with a bit of a showmanship answer thing on the right-hand side there. I'm going to do my talking on the track. The first chance we get to kind of show off our side of either being a sportsman or a showman. In general, from the previous game, I've always been a bit more of a showmanship kind of guy.
Appreciate your time.
I was looking for you. Well, what can I say? I guess there's no other way to put this, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry for ever giving you the common respect that all races deserve, because you don't deserve it, neither of you do. That was the dirtiest driving I've ever seen.
Ridiculous.
My thoughts exactly. I'm taking my line and I get smashed into? I'm fine, by the way, thanks for asking me. And then I'm penalised for the privilege.
You're unbelievable. You deserved every second of that penalty, maybe more. I mean, aside from trashing the car, did you ever stop to think that maybe someone could get hurt?
Yeah. Me?
Fine, but winning at any cost is your strategy, not ours. You better watch yourself.
Whatever.
Don't let him get in your head. He knows you're a better driver. So, on the track, stay away from him. He will try to force you into contact. That's how he wins, yeah? Let's get ready for the press briefing.
Devon's absolutely rumbled. We definitely got under his skin a little bit there after that race of beating him despite having the collision there. Still maintain that was probably his fault by the looks of it from that intro screen. But we go on to the final and third scenario of this F2 story then. And so here we are. The Abu Dhabi GP, Aarava and Butler were tied on points as they entered the final race. That definitely sounds like a career mode of mine for sure, of the 2018 Formula 2 Championship. But with Butler ahead by virtue of greater number of race wins, Aarava need to score more points than him to claim the championship. Like I said, very much a scenario that I get into in career modes a lot of the time, so I'm relishing this. Let's get into it.
So here we are in Abu Dhabi. Each and every event in the Formula 2 calendar has led us here to this, the final event of the championship, and one that promises to be a spectacle every bit as exciting as we might have hoped. Yas Island Circuit is a 3.4-mile racetrack built on the man-made Yas Island. In addition to the 21 corners, it features 2 very long straights. Now these will be the driver's main overtaking chances today into turn 8 and turn 11. Joining me for one last time here this year is Davide Valsecchi. Davide, I'm glad you're here because I think I'm going to need help processing all this. Surely, this is as exciting as it gets.
Yeah, you're right, Alex. It's the perfect finale. 2 drivers, rivals of season, now going into the final race tied on points, both way out in front at the top of the standings, meaning whichever of these 2 drivers cross the line first will be crowned the champion. I can't wait.
Okay, this is it. Last race of the season. All you have to do is finish in the points ahead of Devon, and the next time we see each other, you'll be the F2 World Champion. No pressure then. Good luck.
So right, no pressure from my engineer then. The next time I see him, he wants me to be the world champion here in F2. So we'll have to see how it goes. But of course, it's the sprint race here, the second race of the F2 week in Abu Dhabi. So it's going to be a 0-stop, soft tire on the car and going all the way to the end. So here we go then to 5 red lights, to the finale of the F2 Championship. Can we be crowned the champion against Devon Butler? Fire lights are out. And we're underway for 11 laps here at Yas Marina in the daytime there. It's an okay start from us. We're P8, so I think we must have actually won the first feature race because we got a reverse grid essentially, and so we went from pole to P8. We're maintaining P8 into the first 2 turns, but we are being attacked by Latifi there on the outside. They're set to Camara and Norris, the 2 Carlin cars, side by side, but on the exit we get a great one, and so we're going to go down the inside of 2 cars there, and Weber and Butler are actually side by side, so my teammate might be able to do me a favour here by battling my rival for the championship. But we're up into P6, a fantastic overtake down the inside there, crucial one really here, because it's the first time I'm going to get to do a whole actual sprint race here at F2, and I just don't know how it's going to go out, of course. You know, I've kind of got used to the F2 car at this stage, but still a bit of unknown of how to truly extract all the maximum pace out of the car, and so it's a good thing that we got a good start there and maintain that lead ahead of the 2 Carlin cars. But Weber a little bit slow, and we go very aggressively over the bump, a little bit of a bunny hop there, and we get a great exit on our German teammate. So can we get enough slipstream to maybe overtake? It's going to be a bit tricky. He's actually pulling away a little bit, but we have to make this overtake. So I'm going to go for a horrendous dive bomb down the inside there, and he's going to give us a bit of room. We lock up on the front left, but he gives us space, and we've got the room to work with there on the inside of the chicane, and we get to the inside, and so that is one crucial pass made, and now the next car up is Devon Butler for P4. Remember, I don't need to get a podium, we don't need to win the race, I just need to beat Devon on the track and be in the points, because we're level on points right now going into this race for the F2 Championship, and so I just need to try and buy my time, try and suss out where I can overtake him and get the job done, and hopefully, fingers crossed, don't crash with him like we did at Austria, and we'll be peachy basically. But we get quite close, but Sector 3, as it has been in F1 time and time again, we've seen at Yas Marina, very difficult to overtake in Sector 3, and even with these F2 cars being a little more equalised with equal cars, of course, I just can't find a way past quite yet here. We're having a look, we're getting very close, literally pushing him through that left-hander corner, but nothing is going to work right now. But it is very early days. It's only lap 2. We've got so long to go, and so, like I said, we can bide our time a little bit, not too much, of course. It is the sprint race, so it's the sprint race for a reason. We need to get a move on here. Don't have too many laps to go, and of course, even if it is the sprint race, there is some tyre wear involved. These yellow wall tyres will fade away at the end of the race. They do very much so every time, at least I've watched F2. That's always an issue for the drivers right at the end, and so it's about kind of keeping the tyres in check and going fast at the same time, which is a very difficult skill, and a skill you need for F1, of course, as well. But we're getting so close. Butler goes defensive, but he might leave some room on the inside. There he does. He's been caught napping there. We're on the inside and into the hairpin. We're up into P4. We've overtaken Butler. We've got the position we need for the championship, but Butler's quick out the corner on the exit there, and so he's going to have a good run. We're neck and neck as we go down the back straight, and will there be some DRS? Yes, there is. Butler has DRS, and Weber also has DRS on the behind us there, and so it's going to be 3 wide. Butler on the left, Weber on the right, 3 wide with our 2 rivals in the F2 story mode. You can't make this stuff up. Absolutely amazing stuff. Weber's now down my inside. He's dive bombed us there. He's done the bunny hop over the chicane clearly, but we've got Butler. Butler had to hit the bollard and smack the bollard off the track there to try and go down my inside there, so very frosty indeed, but absolute scenes. We tried to have a look on the inside of Weber, but there's no point me doing another big dive bomb on my teammate here because I've already got past Butler. But let's have a look at a replay here because this is quite something. What are the chances of a 3 wide moment like this? Epic stuff into the chicane with the very 2 story mode characters we're going to take through into F1. Absolutely awesome way to start off episode 1 here of the F1 2019 career mode there. And you can see Butler had to really cut the corner and hit the bollard to even try and make the corner in the end. So lap number 4, we're going to try finally to overtake Weber in a bit of a cleaner way. We go for a move to the inside. It's a very late move there. Going to lock up on the front left, try the Nico Rosberg tactic, kind of go for this switchback move to the inside. That doesn't quite work out because we get caught up on the curb a little bit there. So for now, Weber will maintain that pace in P4, but at least we're staying ahead of Butler. That's the kind of main thing here. But we're going to continue to attack Weber here on lap number 4. DRS open, shimmy and shake to the right-hand side there. He goes very defensive though, and very easy on the brakes because it's so easy to lock up the brakes on these F2 cars on the front here, with a lack of downforce versus the F1 cars. But here we go then to the inside again for lap number 6. Weber again will pinch us very aggressively into the apex. Then we make some contact with his front left tyre. That's going to spew our car off a little bit, and Butler got a little bit close for comfort, but Weber's had such a poor exit there that we've actually shot through on the second straight. DRS open again on the right hand side for the second time now. We're pulling alongside, but can we outbrake him on the outside? It'll turn to the inside, remember, for the next corner. We've locked up on the front left quite a fair bit, but we're on the inside. Give him the room though, and he's just about going to slot in there, and that's very fine margins. But we're up into P4 then. Alexander Albon is in P3, obviously the future Toro Rosso man at the moment in the podium, but we don't need to worry about the podium. We're already ahead of Butler, and now we've got our teammate. It's a bit of a hurdle and a buffer. This is the perfect scenario, having Weber in between us two. That means that Butler has to overtake one more car before he even has to get a chance at me. But the thing is, if Weber attacks me too much, we might have issues here, and he goes steaming past us on lap number 8. We're going to try and outbrake him here, and again have a jostle and a side-by-side moment in the chicane. This time though, we're going to stick on the outside, go the long way around, get the power down in third gear, and power past him. No DRS, no DRS for us. I thought for a second that he was going to get DRS, and we weren't, but we do, so that's going to aid us. But look at Butler go. He fakes to the left, goes to the right, and he's trying all sorts to try and get past Weber, but no juice. Actually, our teammate does a great job at sticking through there, and so Butler left frustrated on that corner there, on that lap number 8. And so we move on to the last lap of this sprint race here. Lap 11, still P4, Weber in P5. Butler is still there, right up the gearbox of him though, in P6. And so let's see, one final time maybe for Weber to try and attack me into the chicane down the back straight. We tried to break the toe, but he follows us all along and tries to catch that slipstream. Butler is still there in the background there. We've got a car out, but we've got Weber going on the outside once more. We stick to the inside. We've actually outbroke him a little bit there. We've done well under braking. We've actually gone wide on purpose, and we just cut him off there actually. So that's probably the best I've done that corner actually this entire sprint race. I've been way too cautious the entire time there, and so in hindsight, if I was to maybe redo some F2 car action, I'd definitely try and go a little bit harder on the brakes. But to be fair to me, you can see the tyre wear has really kicked in there. The fronts are absolutely screaming there. So that's what I was talking about. Even if it is a sprint race, with these F2 cars, you still do get a lot of tyre wear, and you do have to try and look after them. They do fall away, and that's definitely a kind of a feature of the sprint race in F2, is that, you know, at the very end, all chaos can break loose. We've seen so many times in real F2, so much chaos at the end of sprint races and the end of feature races as well, because the tyres just fall off so much for a lot of drivers. But we're going to come through nice and easy. You can see very slow, but just slow and steady wins the race sometimes. And I feel like we've ticked all the boxes here and done the F2 story mode the right way, the way I wanted to. We let our teammate by at Spain and got the team points there. We beat Butler at Austria despite having the front wing off, and we come through the final race of the F2 2018 Championship to win the championship and become F2 Drivers' Champion.
Finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
There were questions at the start of the season as to whether they could really go all the way, but there's no question anymore. What a special year it's been, and here they are, the new Formula 2 World Drivers' Champion. That result also seals the Formula 2 World Championship title. Congratulations to our winner after an incredible season. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
For me, the RT driver was the best in the field today. They did a great job at getting the most of the tires without losing pace. That's a good skill to have.
And the title is in the bag for ART after a long and hard-fought season. They've done astonishingly well this year, and the glory they'll be taking back home is fully deserved. And after all that excitement, I think it's time for a lie down. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you when Formula 2 returns.
So there we have it then, confirmation. We have won the F2 Championship. That P4 has sealed it there by only a couple of points. Such a close championship. In the end, the Constructors was actually not that close, and ART dominating there. So myself and Weber, good job there.
First of all, congratulations. You must be thrilled. Wow, you're the Drivers' Champion. How does it feel?
I could have gone for a lot of these answers, to be fair, about how it feels to be the Drivers' Champion of F2. We're going to go with the left-hand side option there. It feels absolutely great. It's been hard fought, but really pleased we got there.
So that was a thrilling end to the season. How was the race for you?
Gonna go full-on cheeky here with the answer on the right-hand side and say I had never had any doubts I'd not be in the points today, even despite the fact we were 3 wide with our rivals at one point.
Wow, we've been hearing rumours of a possible future for you in Formula 1. Care to comment?
And speculating about our F1 future, I'm going to go with the left-hand side on. So play a bit cocky, play a bit, arrogant, and say that, I deserve to be there, one of the best drivers on the grid. No doubt, no doubt. I'm not going to say anything other, am I?
Appreciate your time.
Congratulations, mate. F2 champion.
Hey, congratulations. Enjoy it, because it's the last time it will ever happen.
Devin, it's okay to be upset. You came very close.
Yeah, we know things would have turned out very differently if I didn't get slapped with that ridiculous penalty.
What is it with you and complaining?
Look, somehow you managed to do a lot of things right today. That's great. You needed the win, I didn't. For me, this was always just a stepping stone to F1. Oh, you two. You got your work out for you now that I'm gone. See, you're going to have to prove to everyone it was more than just luck that got you here.
Sure. Winning one race is luck. Winning the championship is talent.
Really? Next time you use that incredible talent to ram into someone and steal all their points, remember they won't be as forgiving as I am. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I gotta run. Things to sign, important paperwork and all that. I'm sure you understand. Ciao!
So, with this big win, you're going to be getting a lot of interest. All I can say is choose wisely, or else you might end up with someone like Devin as your teammate. Come on, let's go celebrate.
And so now, concluding that F2 Championship, this is 2 months later, we join our agent in London. Since the thrilling conclusion to the 2018 Formula 2 Championship, a lot of opportunities have begun to open up for you. Your agent Emma has called you into the office to make a final decision about your potential future in Formula 1.
Ah, welcome. Come on in. Take a seat. It's time we had the big conversation about your next move. Your performance at the F2 Championships last year got you a lot of attention from the Formula 1 teams. Some of it more positive than others. I'm not so concerned with who does or doesn't like you. You'll have plenty of time to win the doubters over. But I am concerned with our choices. They're narrowing as we haven't shown commitment to anyone. As your agent, my advice is to make your decision now. We can worry about comfort and finer points further down the line. I need you to review these. You've earned every single one of these proposals. So take your time, have a read through, and don't get too hung up on specifics. Let's get you a Formula One seat.
So here we go then, we can choose our Formula 1 team for the start of the 2019 season, Season 1 of the F1 2019 Career Mode proper. And so now I will reveal to you guys what Driver Academy I chose. I chose the Ferrari Driver Academy because the team that I want to try and go for Season 1 is the Alfa Romeo Racing team. You know, Alfa Romeo, a very good feel kind of vibe team in the midfield, you know, used to be previously known as Sauber. They were in a lot of money issues a few years ago. They've now got this really good funding the last 2 years, this new backing of Alfa Romeo, a great motorsport brand and car brand, you know, rebranded with this kind of Italian injection with still the kind of Swiss foundation, if you will. And I just really like them as like an underdog team. And obviously there's a potential chance to partner Kimi Räikkönen, who I think a lot of people like the story of him going back to effectively Sauber where he began his career. So that would be kind of a cool thing to kind of join him in that kind of story, if you will, as well. And like I said, trying to establish them as a midfield team potentially in the first season and see where we can go from there. You never know. I'm not going to make any guarantees I stick with Alfa Romeo for more than one season. We'll kind of see how it ebbs and flows with the kind of the way the story goes. I don't know, with Weber and Butler as well. But for now, yeah, I really want to go for Alfa Romeo Racing, and so that's what we're going to go for. And that's why we've also got a higher value to teams like them and Haas and Ferrari, because we chose the Ferrari Driver Academy. So it actually means that we actually get a very good contract indeed from Alfa Romeo as a starter contract. Level 2 on race bonus, no simultaneous development or upgrade speed quite yet, but level 2 on race bonus is pretty damn good. We're going to be the first driver, so I'm not too sure who that means our teammate's going to be. We'll have to find out if it's going to be Räikkönen or Giovinazzi. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see Räikkönen next to me because I've had many, many great career modes with Räikkönen as a teammate there. We've got pit stop efficiency of level 1 as well, and our team goal are going to be hard though, so that might be a little bit of a tricky thing to get R&D maybe at the very start of the season. We'll have to see, but I think that's a pretty solid contract there. So we're going to go ahead and sign it, and we're going to leave it till episode number 2 to start our Formula 1 career with Alfa Romeo Racing, guys. So if you did enjoy the video, smash that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, to subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content, and that episode 2 will be coming out later today on Friday, so look out for that today in the evening. Till then, guys, goodbye.
Excellent choice. From my conversations with them, they're going to be very excited to pursue this opportunity with you. I'll let them know our intentions immediately. I'll have to clean up some final details with them, but that's what you pay me for. Other than that, congratulations. You've earned it.